Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and we're going to talk a little bit about your short game today. We're going to talk about pitch shots. I'm going to look at, for me, the 5 biggest reasons why you're not having success around the greens. And this causes probably 90% of people having bad pitch shots. Now, hopefully you're not doing all 5 wrong. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 of these you might look at and go, oh yeah, I can improve that a little bit. It'll make a massive difference to what I'm doing. But I want you to look at these 5 things and look at your game and see if you're doing it right. Okay, so number 1, okay, and what I always look at with a golf shot is look at the starting point of a shot when you arrive at it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the flight of the ball, the roll of the ball, your imagination. How much do you actually pay attention to how you're going to get the golf ball to the hole? And I think that's always the starting point with every shot. Look at the result you want. How am I going to get it? So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to play some shots. I've got some balls the other side of the green there. I just want you to watch the ball, watch the flight. The goal is I want to get as close to the hole. And I get a lot of people on a pitch shot, so I'm going to land it right by the hole. Well, that would probably run past where the camera is. So it's important to understand what's the flight with the club that you're choosing, and then what's the roll to end up there. So I'm going to play 4 or 5 balls. I'm just going to use a gap wedge, chipping over a little mound, coming out of light rough onto the green. Let's see what we can do. But I want you to watch the roll of the ball as well as the flight to get an idea of the shot. Let's have a go. As I'm walking up here, I can get a feel for the shot. I can sense it's a little bit uphill as I'm walking, so it's downhill going that way. Again, use your experience, what you've done before. I've got 5 balls. We're going to play 5 shots. Okay, so number 1, ball flight, roll. Let's see what happens. So nice bit of height. Tiny bit to the left of the hole, not run out of the camera shot there, but that's okay. So I can learn from that. So if I look at it, I think, okay, distance-wise, not too bad. My line wasn't great, so let's improve the line. Just make a subtle adjustment to what I've just seen. Now watch that one. That's the shot I'm going to take every day of the week. So now mentally, I know what I need to do. It's making sure I do it and imagine that shot every time. Remember, the starting point of each shot is what am I meant to be doing? Where am I going to land the ball? So that's the flight. Where am I expecting the roll to go down towards the hole? And again, quite happy that's run on a little bit. But I'm landing it in the general area I want to be. Again, learn from it, land it a couple of feet less. Again, I'm learning the flight of the ball. And then the roll. And what I'm learning as I'm going through, what I felt when I was walking up is a little bit downhill. So on this occasion, I want to land it a little bit shorter to let it roll down the hill because of that slope. But here's number 1, as we said, ball flight, roll, end result. So by the end of it, the last 2, I've learned what to do and we've got them within a putter's length. I'm going to be really happy. So that's part number 1. How much do you imagine the ball flight, the roll, the end result, or do you get too weighed up in technique that this isn't really thought about? But this is the number 1 thing. Start with this. This is what I don't see on the golf course. It's the biggest reason people don't chip the ball well. Okay, let's go and look at number 2. So here's number 2, and it's a very, very simple one, and I see it all the time. People cannot aim their golf club. Okay, it seems dramatic, and it's the most common shot when people come to me for short game, and especially maybe a little bit longer pitch than this. They say, all my pitches go left. And it's simply down to one thing. They don't aim the golf club correctly. Okay, that's as simple as it's going to be. So we've got a little gadget here we're going to put on the face of the club, and that shows pretty much where the golf ball would come off the face of that club. Let's just bring that a little bit closer to the camera so you can see that there. And that's how that would come off. And what I see all the time is people, for some reason, they seem to close the face down and they start to make the club look like it's aiming left as they set up to the shot. It's as if they're trying to get their hands ahead of the ball, which is what they may have been told to do. Okay, and what that does, if I just push my hands ahead, it looks like now I've opened the face up. So naturally now they'll shut the face down. And then if they swing it correctly, the ball jumps left off the club face, or it goes lower than they want and they don't get the result. And we'll come to another point in a minute why this causes so many problems. Okay, so it's really important that, number one, a golf club is designed in a certain way, and we talk about what we call the bounce of the club. Let's take that off for a second. The bounce is what the sole of the club is doing, so the angle between the back edge and the front edge of the club. Okay, and what we want to do is we want that club to sit nice and flat on the ground. Just get rid of that for a second. So that sole slides through the ground. I think that's the important thing to understand. You want it to slide through. You don't want that leading edge to be there and dig in, and you don't want it to sit back so that bounces too much as you go through. So I want you to use the word slide. I think that's really important. I've just done a video on lob wedge shots, which went out probably a week ago. Go and watch that. We talk about how to use the sole of the club. Now, if you are closing that face down, go back to that, it makes that edge a digging edge. That may be why you may be hitting the ground before the ball, and the ball only goes about 2 feet in front of you. So make sure that club's correct. So 2 problems we get by pushing those hands forward and closing that face down. If I'm there and then I do that, even if I swing it correctly, the ball just jumps straight left. Okay, let's just double check we are aiming correctly with my body. Everything looks good, but I've got that club, push my hands forward, I close it down, I swing towards the target, and the ball's jumping over there. And then that starts to create problems, which we're going to come to later in your swing, how you're then having to adapt to get the problems. Let the club sit naturally, make sure you've got the full loft of the club, and it's pointing where you want to go. This is a really important thing to understand. The club face has far more control on where the ball starts than the path of your swing. So something like a pitching wedge, it will be approximately 70% of where the ball starts is down to where that's pointing when you hit the ball. Only 30% is down to path. As your golf club loses loft, so by the time you get to your putter, the club face has control of about 95% of where the ball goes, and it's only 5% in path. The only shot in golf where the path is more important is a greenside bunker shot, because you should be hitting sand before the ball. So the path is more important than where the club face is pointing. All your other shots, make sure that club face is pointing where you want to go. It seems so simple, okay? But get the club in the right position at the beginning, and it gives you a great chance to now put the ball on the line that you want to go to give you that chance. Plus, you'll get the flight you want, which makes point 1 easier to get the results you want from there. So that's point 2. Make sure you're aiming the golf club where you want to go. Let it sit flat on its bottom. The golf club will work for you. We're going to carry on into number 3 now, which is all about the rest of your setup, how important your setup is when you play the shot. So here's part 3, and it's your body setup, and I see this so inconsistent as we go through. Slight change of scenery. Golf course has got a little bit busy, had to jump around a little bit on the holes. I'm going to talk really about ball position, number 1. Go back to the first thing we talked about, ball flight. Understand the club you've chosen and how it's going to work. And what I see a lot of the time is ball position. I've just drawn this line here, created like a right angle where we want to go. I'm going to talk about down the line in a second, is where your body aims. But I see people get their ball position so wrong when they pitch. Here's the biggest fault. They get the ball position off their front foot because what they think is going to happen, the club now is going to give them more loft. Biggest mistake ever. We're going to come to that as our final thing later on, what you guys do badly in your technique that causes a problem. But this is the biggest cause of it. If I play the ball too far forward, the club now, if anything, is on the up. If the club is on the up, I'm going to top it, I'm going to thin it, I might hit the ground behind it. I'm going to get very inconsistent contact. So here's your most important thing. Don't worry so much about ball position. Think more about your sternum position. Think about the middle of your chest. Okay, that needs to be in line with the ball. This is the top of your swing. The club head is going to be the bottom of the swing. If those 2 things are in line when you strike the ball, you're going to hit a nice shot. If you put the ball position way forward and you now put the sternum behind the ball, the low point is here, your club is on the way up, you're going to miss-hit the shot. And then you're going to start messing around with your setup to try and set that position. If you watch any tour player, you will very rarely see them through their stance ever feel like they're there and then they're pushing their weight towards the front foot. It's far easier to put the ball a bit more central and you're already there. And then they may put a little bit of weight that way, but again, it's fractional. I think that's the important thing. What I see a lot of the time is you guys over-exaggerate what we're asking you to do. So you say, get your weight on your left side, and you suddenly see people like this. Okay, way over there. You're then going to feel that feels wrong. So you're going to start making adjustments in your swing. So sternum, that's your key bit. Get it in line with the ball. That's in the middle of the stance. Now what we talked about on part 2 is the golf club now, sit it correctly, it can now work for you. That can now slide under the ball to make the ball pop up into the air and do what you want it to do. Sternum, that's your key bit on this part of your setup. Now, second part of the setup, I see this all the time. You're told to grip down the club to get more control. But it's really important that what you do is when you set up to the ball, you get your posture correct and then feel from there the lie of the land to understand where you're going to grip it. So I was out today with a gentleman and he's straight away, first thing he does, he grips right down at the bottom of the grip. And then the ball was on a downhill lie. So he was sitting in a position where the ball was lower than his feet. And now he couldn't get to the ball. He kept thinning it across the other side of the green. Because if you think about it now, it's a lot lower than normal. So what he needed to do was let the club sit correctly, find your posture, let your arms hang to now where it feels correct. If the ball's below your feet, you might be a little bit higher on the club than you normally would be. If the ball's above your feet, you might be gripping a bit lower still, because you want to maintain a consistent posture. That's the key thing. We'll look at that a little bit when we're going to look at our third point on the setup in a second. But don't grip and then set up. Get the feel of the setup, then grip. Okay, final thing we're going to look at, we're going to look from a different angle, is your body alignment and how, again, that's not going to help you to do part 2, which was the importance of the aim of the golf club. So here's the third part of part 3, which is your body alignment. And you're told to have a slightly open stance when you pitch. And again, it's a massive exaggeration. I've set this up pretty much parallel to where I want to go. And if we just work on the idea, what we talked about on part 2 is the importance of aiming the club. Make sure your club is aiming where you want to go and then get your body in position. Now, why would you have a slightly open stance? Well, when you pitch, you might hit down a little bit more on the ball. If you hit down on the ball, it will generally encourage the ball to go a little bit to the right as a right-handed golfer. It will tend to pop it out that way. And that's just physics. So here's the key thing, a slightly open stance. I see people out on the golf course, there's our parallel position, and people's feet are this far open trying to pitch to that flag. They're like this. Okay, well, my body is aiming way over there now. Again, I've got to manipulate the swing. Keep it simple. Hopefully what you see in my videos, you can see there how I've moved that. I'm talking 5 degrees. If I hit down by 5 degrees, it's going to pop a little bit to the right. That's all I need to do. I don't want to be standing 30 degrees open. Okay, 40, 50 degrees open, I see sometimes. Just fractionally open. And that allows you now to swing the club along the line you want to go. If the face is good, look how we pop the ball towards our target. So those 3 things are really important. Get your sternum right, level with the ball. That's the top of the swing, that's the bottom of the swing. Grip the club once you've got your posture right. And third thing, fractionally open stance. Don't have a big open stance. The bigger the stance, the bigger the problem. Okay, the more you open it, the more your angles are conflicting each other, makes it that much harder to get the results you want. Okay, let's go look at the next thing. So here's part 4, and it's now we're going to talk 4 and 5 are about the technique. And a lot of the things we've talked about in the first 3 things are going to cause these problems with your technique. And the 4th thing is, are you that golfer trying to help the ball up into the air? What I mean by that, are you playing a shot where you look like as you go to play it, you're the thing that's going to make the ball go up in the air? If you are, this game is going to eat you alive, okay? What you've got to understand is, back to number 1, ball flight and roll. The golf club is going to do the work for you. Number 2, make sure you're aiming that golf club correctly. And number 3, create a setup that doesn't feel you've got to manipulate anything so you can swing the club the way you want to go. And that's really important, that number 4, you're allowing the golf club to do the work. So if we look at that sternum position we talked about in 3, that wants to be pretty central. If you are that golfer now that leans back, look where the sternum's gone. It's now over my right foot. That's where I'm probably going to hit the ground. If I miss the ground, I'm on the way up. I'm now going to thin or top the ball across the other side of the green. Your shot will look like this. Okay, well, on that occasion, I've missed it completely. I've done it so badly. What a terrible shot. Let's go again. See if I can do it. Oh no, it's gone whistling across, and now I'm in a worse position. I've just gone into a bush over the other side of the green. So I hit 2 cracking shots down this par 4, and now I'm going to have to take a penalty drop, 3 into the bush, 4 out, 5 on, 6, 7's going to be my best score. So the golf club gets the ball up in the air. We talked about that. Get the sternum in the right position, keep it there. If you're going to do anything with your body, just turn around that position. And now you'll get the strike. Look where I've finished. Everything's on this side. I want to feel always I'm going through to make the ball go up. And that's why that first part is so important. Understand the ball flight and roll so you understand what you're attempting to get from the club. Sternum in line with the ball. Keep it there. Swing back. Oh, ball's trying to move. Swing back, turn. Ball will pop up into the air. Okay, don't know if you heard that. Smack the flag. So there's part number 4. Get that sternum in position. You're not making the ball go up. The golf club is. That's the important thing. And we're going to look at the final one now, which is one of my pet hates I see with a lot of golf pros teach. And I don't like to ever say anything bad against other golf pros, but I don't see any tour player doing this. But you guys are encouraged to do it. We're going to make sure you stop doing it. So here's our 5th and final bit, and it's simply the length of your backswing. And the way I look at a golf shot, this part of your swing, your backswing, creates the power. It gives you the opportunity to create the power. And what we see with a lot of coaching is they're so scared that you're going to feel like you're decelerating, they get you feeling that you want to have quite a short backswing, and then you're trying to force the shot through. But here's the problem. We want to get the club to reach the bottom of the arc. We want to feel the club is going to strike underneath the ball. And what happens is if you make your swing short on the backswing, and then you feel you've got to get the swing up here to get the power, you're going to now make the club go up. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to thin and top those balls across the other side of the green. You get here and then you're going up, okay, and it's gone. Ball's gone. Okay, now, this video is going to go out. This will probably be about 6 weeks on from when Scotty Scheffler won the second FedEx Cup event. And he pitched in on the 71st hole. And I loved this. There was an article written I read the day after, and it was talking about 2/3 backswing, 1/3 follow through with tour players. And what they do is they'll get here, they make a backswing they know is going to give them the power, and then they fire it down into the ball, and they make sure the acceleration is there, but they're not trying to make the acceleration here. 2 things are going to slow that club up. When it hits the ball, minimal slow up, but they're going to hit the ground, the turf after the ball. That's going to slow the club up. But you must make a backswing. Okay, that's the important thing. This is your power. If I only go to there, how am I going to hit the ball 30 yards? It's impossible. I need a backswing here that will give me the result. And you can see from my follow through, it will be shorter than my backswing. And that ball's popped up lovely. Okay, that's what we're looking for as we play the shot. So you need that acceleration, yes. But if we look at a golf club and I let this swing, it's going to accelerate as it drops. As long as you let it freely go, don't try and control it, that club is going to keep accelerating. One of my heroes when I grew up was Fred Couples. Fred Couples had this lovely backswing when he chipped. He got the club up, let it drop, and hopefully what you're seeing is I'm playing these shots. Look at the length of my backswing, look at the length of my follow-through. The follow-through is shorter than my backswing, but these are popping up like the shots you saw at the very beginning, the ball flight and roll. We're getting the shots that I want. You can hear from the strike, it's good. So, part 5, you've got to have a backswing. Make the backswing enough to guarantee you're going to get the power to hit the ball where you want to go. So there are 5 things. I think if you get these 5 things right, 90% of any problems with your pitching will disappear. Hopefully you're not doing all 5 things wrong. But start at the beginning. What's the ball flight and roll? Number 2, make sure that golf club is aiming correctly. 3, get your body in position that allows you to make the shot that you want, to make that ball flight, make that roll. Don't be that player, number 4, who's trying to make the ball go up. Number 5, have a backswing. If you've got a backswing, you've got a chance. Take these ideas to the practice ground. I'll guarantee your game will improve if you can get those 5 things working correctly. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's going through short game and making sure we can get rid of any of those faults and fix them so you start to get results on the golf course. If you did enjoy it, please share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon.